Hey y'all, it's Jamie with Gardens and Getaways. It's the first week of July and I just wanted to come out to the garden and do a big garden tour of my little bitty garden. So the garden is kind of going crazy right now. We've got stuff hanging over the edges, growing up above me. Lots to do today. I really need to get out here and tie some stuff up, cut some stuff back. I've been dealing with a couple different pests. I don't know if you've seen my video. I did one on the hornworm that attacked my tomato plant, so I really need to go in, trim out some stuff there, look for other hornworms, make sure there's no more pest damage. I need to tie up my squash again. We had a big storm and some of them actually broke from where I had the tie. So come along with me and I'll show you what I've got growing on. Alright, so we typically start in this zucchini bed that is on the corner. You can see the cucumbers are growing up that trellis beautifully behind the zucchini. These two zucchini on the end are the ones that I did not tie up, and they have just kind of started to drape over the side. My fear in not tying them up was that they get kind of wild and unruly in there, but what happens, you can see it with this one, we get pretty bad blossom end rot, and I think some of these flowers aren't able to be seen by pollinators just because they're all the way down here. However, I say that, and then there's a little baby zucchini growing right there up against the bed. I'm still going to try to come in here and trim out some of this stuff today. Clean it up a little bit if I can. We'll come over here to the zucchinis that I have tied up. Now you may remember this one was actually pretty beat up by a storm. A couple leaves are still not looking great, and the plant itself, I mean, it's just really not doing anything spectacular. This one does have a small little skinny zucchini on it, so I'm going to keep letting them grow, but you can see where I definitely need to tie this plant up. In doing so, tying it up will allow some of these cosmos to shine through a little bit prettier that I planted in here. I was a little worried that they were going to get shaded out completely, but they have just fought the odds and shot through and are looking beautiful. This zucchini plant was the smaller one that I tied up, and it seems to be looking good. Oh, actually, look, I never even tied this one up. I need to tie it up. I put the stake there and then didn't tie it. Life be lifing sometimes, but I do have some baby zucchinis. Now this one I did tie up, and you can see it's fallen over too, so once again I need to come in and just kind of guide it back up so that it can keep producing for me. The cucumbers are going over the trellis beautifully. I've got some to pick, so I'm going to come through and do that in just a second. I had planted some carrot seeds down here below, but I think they got pretty well shaded out. I had the seed. It wasn't really lost to me just to throw it in the ground. I had it. I was going to try it just to fill in the hole, but I think the zucchinis just got way too big, way too fast, so they're not doing much. There may be one or two down there that have like a little bit of a leaf sprout on them. We'll plant carrots again later. Beside my zucchini are these mammoth sunflowers. Ignore the pool. We had a slip and slide pool party here, which is part of the reason my garden's so crazy. I had to do a bunch of stuff around the house, plan a birthday party. It was a lot of fun, but we haven't got that cleaned up yet. But anyways, these mammoth sunflowers you can see are getting big old heads on them. This is prime example of you do not have to spend a lot of money on seeds. Do you know where I got these seed packets from? And look how good they're doing. Look, that'll be opening up soon. I got those seeds from the Dollar Tree. Or the now $1.25 tree, because you know everything's going up in price. But I'm pretty sure their seeds are like 2 for $1. I had actually bought these for a women's event that I was doing at church. I led a little devotional on gardening, and I was going to give out seed packets with it, and I had some extras, so put those in the ground. They weren't doing anything anyways, you know, just sitting on the shelf. And they're growing pretty good. So I'm impressed by my little 50-cent seeds. There's another one that's about to open up soon. Sunflowers are so beautiful. So beautiful. Over here in the corner, we've got the pink brandywine tomatoes. Looking good. The marigolds down below are absolutely beautiful. Somebody did say that marigolds do deter hornworms. Well, in case you haven't seen my video, that in fact was a lie. That right there is hornworm damage where it just ate the leaves off. Luckily, I'm pretty sure I found the only one on this plant before too much damage was done. And I do still have some really great fruits there. That is in my hand. Look how big that is. Just beautiful fruit. I've got some browning leaves down towards the bottom that I probably will come through and clip off today. But other than that, the pink brandywine's looking good. Here's another shot of some more sunflowers and zinnias that we have that I just kind of threw in the ground. Around this way so you can see. I mean, I'm only 5 foot tall, so I'm not that tall. But these sunflowers are way taller than me already, which I just love. Over here in our pepper plant bed, things are coming along great. I am questioning though, do you see how these peppers right here have the dimples on the bottom? They kind of have that pepper shape. This plant has a ton of peppers on it, but they are all round. Have you ever seen that? Like none of them are dimpled on the bottom. Is that normal? I'm not really sure. I bought them in the same 4-pack, so I would think that they're the same. They just aren't really looking the same. Got some pretty big peppers back here. I'll probably give these a couple more days to get just a little bit bigger. They are pretty firm. We'll continue to watch those. The chives are looking good. Marigolds all throughout here. My little bitty basil plants are trying to poke through. I need to take the head off of this one. Do you see where this basil has that point to it? That is where it's about to flower. So really we need to come through and cut it off probably down here at these nodes so that it will continue to produce for me. Got some banana peppers coming on. Oh no, this one on the bottom looks like it might not be doing so hot. Yep. Okay, we'll just send that one over the edge. I just throw stuff over the fence and then it winds up going to the chickens or whatever other animals want to eat it. Sometimes I'll carry it up to the compost pile. We talked about how the cucumbers were kind of starting to peter out. I squatted down so you could see how they're starting to brown, and some of the vines just aren't looking great, but I'm still getting cucumbers. So I don't want to rip these out just yet because they very much are still producing. But what I am going to do here pretty soon is get some seeds started in a tray. So that way when I think these are done, what I can do is come through and just plant some new plants and get a second round of cucumbers in my garden. Here in North Carolina, Zone 7B, that's one of the good things that we can do. We can actually do a couple rounds of vegetables throughout the summer. These cucamelons have just identified as cucumbers and taken over in here with them. So if you see these tiny little ones here, see if I can zoom in and focus. This is actually a cucamelon. I don't think any of them are quite ready yet. I think they get a little bit bigger than that. I'm questioning now. I don't know. Do they get bigger? Just like a little zesty baby cucumber. My friend gave me these seeds. My kids ate some cucamelons with her last year. They loved them. So she gave me, actually not seeds, she gave me plant starts. So that's the first time I tasted it. She told me it had a lime taste. I'm not really seeing the lime. Maybe it wasn't ready. I need to ask her, like, how big are they supposed to be? Do you know? Have you grown cucamelons? Anyways, it's always fun to grow something new. Another new thing that I'm growing is this right here. I'm pretty sure this is my Kajari melon. I had seeds for this. I had planted it before. They never did good for me. This does not look like the cantaloupe that I planted. So I think this is a Kajari melon. I got that seed from Baker Creek Seeds or rareseeds.com. They've got some pretty cool seeds on there, different varieties of stuff. Cause see, this right here is a baby cantaloupe. This looks different. The skin is like greener and streaked. So we'll just have to see. Squash plants, they're doing good. The vertical was definitely the way to go, but I'm gonna have to start some new seeds. Look at that. That broke off. Do you see that where I was tying it up and then stopped tying it? Ugh. I hate that. I hate that I did not keep up with tying it because it's broke off now and that's going to be that for the top of that plant. Maybe the bottom of it will grow some more. I'll leave it there for a little while I get some other seeds started, but I am going to have to clean that up. The eggplant in here, she's got a beautiful little eggplant on her. She may be about ready. She's pretty firm. We'll see if I'll decide to pick her today. Once again, cucumbers. We just have to look. It grabbed onto this little trellis that I had for the eggplant. Like, get off of there. Oh, just stick it back through this trellis. This is where you go. I'm trying to keep the garden in order, but it is just, it really has a mind of its own right now, which is great because it's producing a lot. Got some more little baby cantaloupes over here. Where did I see you? Right there. That's coming along good. Got some squash I need to pick. That looks beautiful. You can see where this squash plant also broke off at the top, but I will say, stepping back, these squash look better than my squash have ever looked in July. Usually at this point, I've got a lot of squash bugs, pest pressure, and I'm not seeing that. I flipped the leaves over. I don't see any of the little dots that tell me I've got squash bugs. So it's going much better than it has in the past. I just neglected tying them up like I should have been. The watermelons have taken over the pathway, but we've got lots of little baby watermelons in here, which is wonderful. Let me see if I can, I know there was one hiding out somewhere down in here. Oh, there she is. Looking good, looking good. There's a couple more randomly around the watermelons. It has grown through the fence, trying to grow out the fence with a couple little babies. And then we've got some more watermelons tucked in down here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, look at the color on those. Absolutely beautiful. I think there was another one somewhere. Oh, there it is. Gorgeous little watermelon. Super excited about having watermelon this year. The zinnia patch with the watermelons seems to be working good. The flowers are doing wonderful. I love zinnias for this reason right here. They will bloom, and then coming off of the same stem, you've got another bloom. And when you cut them back, they just continue to kind of expand and expand and expand. Look at this watermelon. Look how that tendril has just literally tied itself to that plant. Sorry, but I'm gonna break you. Trying to not grow you up the flowers. Little baby watermelon. Just gently pulling that off and laying her down in the pathway here. They've really taken over, but I'm okay with that. In doing that, I have seen once again our visitors that are just trying to destroy the zinnias, these Japanese beetles. So that's what a Japanese beetle is. They will eat your plants. I talked about this a little bit in my last video. You could almost use these zinnias as a trap crop. The beetles are eating the leaves, but they're not eating my other plants, which is good. But I have been coming out here with a jar of soapy water or a bowl of soapy water and just knocking them off. Because look at the damage they do. And I have killed a bunch of them already, but they're still just hanging on. Some of these I've been using as cut flowers and taking them inside, but some of them I am going to let dry out because these seeds are super easy to save. Saving them is wonderful because you can plant them again next year, and that seed you don't have to buy. Very easy seed to save you money next year. Gotta step over the watermelon in order to get over here. The other tomato plant that I have in this small pot, this Cherokee Purple that I decided really was probably too small for this tomato. It's still producing. These tomatoes are cracking. They don't always look that great, but I have gotten some good tomatoes off of it, so I'm just kind of letting it hang out. I'll probably come in today and clean up some of that dead stuff across the bottom. The oregano, once again, has just gone crazy. Even from where I trimmed it, it's just really grown a bunch. The trimming just encouraged even more new growth. I was trying to find a spot so I could show you. So like this is where I trimmed, and this is where it developed 2 new shoots from trimming it. The cilantro, I let go to seed, you may remember. It had pretty flowers at one point, these white lacy looking flowers. This right here though is cilantro seed. So what I'm gonna do is come in and break this off. It just really rolls off right in your hand. A couple of them I've just been dropping back in the same spot. They'll reseed themselves for next year, but I am gonna come through with a Ziploc baggie and see if I can go ahead and do some seed saving. The rosemary's looking good. I do need to dry some of it, save some of it, but she's doing great. Step back over the watermelon plants here to the dahlia bush. I've tied her up a couple times. Some parts have fallen down, but these dahlias are gorgeous. Look at that purple color. I just love it. And I mean, that's in my hand. Like, that thing is the size of my hand. It is absolutely big. Very beautiful, very beautiful. They make great cut flowers. Stuck a couple cosmos seeds over here, and those are coming along good as well. These seeds are all seeds that I took out of my mom's garden last year when her cosmos were drying out and saved them. So we will be saving seed from that also. These marigolds look good. The tomatoes, they've seen better days. North Carolina, start of July, tomatoes can start to really get a little stressed. So you'll see down in here we have some like browning. I'm going to try to come through and clean that up. We've got some areas that were eaten by the hornworm. You see that right there. This is typical hornworm damage. If you come out and your plants look like they have been scraped, you've got a hornworm somewhere. I wound up getting 3 hornworms out of my garden. I don't see any new hornworm damage, but the fattest hornworm was over here. And look at the day. I mean, that's like twigs. He left me twigs, and he ate on 5 tomatoes that I had to trash. But this and this little bit right there, I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyways, that's damage from them. They just get their little mouse up and munch, and then they'll turn around and munch the next one, munch the one beside that. So I did lose some tomatoes, but we caught them and got them out of here before we totally killed the plants. We do have some red tomatoes down in there that I'll have to be picking off probably today. I did do a short video on freezing tomatoes. So like I said, I've been super busy. I haven't had time to put them away. I don't want them to go to waste. We've been eating tons of BLTs. For the birthday that we did burgers. So of course I cut up some tomato to have for that, which was really yummy. But I had a bunch of tomatoes and I didn't have time to can them or anything. So what I did was I cored them, washed them, cored them, put them in a freezer bag. I didn't blanch them or anything. It's something new that I saw that I'm trying. So if you want to go through, you can watch the video of me doing that. It's on my shorts. And hopefully later on, when the garden kind of calms down and I have time, we'll can up all those tomatoes so that we can still use them. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can preserve stuff in your garden. You don't have to eat it right then and there if you aren't able to. This tomato right here, you see this kind of white spot. This is called sun scald. So this tomato is just kind of laying out exposed, not really covered by anything. I'm still going to try to maybe save the other side of it. I don't know. I might just have to toss it. But it's where the tomato just kind of fell over. The basil here, you can see, is also trying to start to flower in the center. See how those leaves are getting tight, more compact? That will eventually make a cone and have some flowers on the top of it. Basil flowers are beautiful, but once they go to flower, it kind of changes the taste, and also it's not going to produce anymore because the plant's goal, like I've said before, is just to produce seed. So I'm going to come through today, chop back some of that basil if I can, and encourage it to keep growing, continue to get bushy. Same with this one right here. But it looks good. It just needs to be cut back a little bit. Okay, so that's where we're at with the whole entire garden. Everything's looking really good. I'm really happy with it. So I'm just going to start picking some stuff because I see a lot of stuff to pick. And then I brought some string out here, some scissors. There's a lot of stuff I need to work on. Just kind of tying up, cleaning up loose ends, that kind of thing. So, also, side note, this basket right here, I got it at the Goodwill. So if you need a cheap basket to pick your vegetables, or you're looking for any tools for your garden, always check your local thrift shop. Like, always, always. Anyways, that's my shameless plug on my love for thrifting. We'll go ahead and get some of these cucumbers down. It's hot. It's July. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. So as I was going through here, I just found a very big neglected cucumber. This happens even growing vertically. The arch helps you to see your fruit hanging down, but sometimes they sneak away from you. You really don't want this to happen, because if you are picking a fruit that's very late, very big, then that sends messages to the plant to stop producing, because all it's trying to do, once again, is produce seed. This one's so big I can't even get it out of the trellis. Oh no. This cucumber is not going to be very good. So you see how it's all white? It's really way bigger than the others. This is just going to be kind of bitter, not really have a lot of flavor. So I'm just going to throw it to the chickens. I'll kind of chop it up and throw it out there to them. So I squatted down here to tie up these zucchini and actually found some more cucumbers. They get away from you. So I've got some string here, just some twine that I kind of have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this plant and try to pull it up from its center. I'm probably going to have to do this a couple times because it is bent, because it's trying to grow on the ground. But we really don't want it to grow on the ground. We want it to grow up this trellis system. In doing this, I actually found 2 more zucchinis. So you can see this part right here is actually the center of the plant. So this is the top center. Now, the angle of it is starting to go this way because it was growing across the ground. I'm just going to gradually have to retrain it back up, and I'm going to have to be diligent about coming out here and tying it. Got to be diligent about coming out here and tying it. Note to self, because I didn't do that with my squash, and they broke. Look what I found out here just a plotting. If you ever want to know what a squash bug looks like, this is it. Pretty sure they're not just plotting, they're doing something else. Trying to make some little squash bug babies. But they're going to have to go. Y'all gots to go. Come here. Get out of here. Not on my zucchinis. Not today. This is a better angle where you can see the main stem of this plant going up, and where I've tied it to this trellis and cut off some of the lower leaves so that the pollinators can see it, and also so those stinking squash bugs don't crawl all the way up it. Sad view, but a good lesson learned. This is the other one. So you can see where I had been coming through and tying this up. Well, now it has broke off, and you see the leaves that are connected to the broke off part are very droopy compared to the healthy leaves that are still attached to the plant. So I don't think there's any saving it. I'm just going to cut it from the top and see if this plant will still produce me a couple little bottom side shoots. And I am going to start some more squash and zucchini seeds. Alright, I'm going to try to save some squash off of these plants if I can. I'm probably going to cut the tops off of the ones that broke. Just because, they're broke. There's no saving them, I don't think. But I do have some good squash over here. And I see more cucumbers. More cucumbers. So this is the part of my squash plant that broke off. It's kind of sad because you can see where it had broken off here. So it wasn't going to get any more nutrients, I don't think. So that's why I just went ahead and cut it, which breaks my heart because there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squashes on here. That's my own fault for not tying it up better. But you could see where these leaves were already wilty, which tells me this part of the plant was going to die. So I just need to take it off. I want to show you this, but I'm being very careful because there is a wasp on there. But look how much fruit I'm losing just from my negligence of not coming to tie it up. That's a garden fail right there. So it's looking like some of my tomatoes need to be tied up as well. So I've just got some little pieces of string, and I'll just go in here, and anywhere where it looks like they might fold over and break like the squash did on me, I'm just going to tie a little string around them, tie them to these bamboo stakes. The other thing I need to do is come in and any of these diseased looking leaves that are on the bottom, I'm just going to go ahead and clip those out because the disease is only going to spread. It's only going to get worse. Keeping a plant feeding diseased and dying leaves is really pointless. Take them away so that your plants can feed your fruit and feed new growth and things that are going to help the plant grow and thrive and continue to do well. So I got quite a bit of just bad leaves, dead leaves, diseased looking leaves off my tomato plants. I just throw them over there and I will take all this to the compost pile eventually, so that way we can just compost it down. I did pick a couple of tomatoes in doing that and got a couple of them tied up a little bit better, so hopefully they won't break over in the next storm that we have like our squash did. Now for cutting this basil, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and cut pretty low actually, where we have any more leaf nodes kind of coming out. I'll cut there. You can see this is a good example of where I had cut and they split and continue to grow. So you just got to kind of keep cut and come again. There's another example. I cut there, got two off. So you're cutting one part of the plant, but you're actually going to get sprouts in two areas, so you're going to get a better bushier plant. So I'll cut those back and take in some fresh basil as well. I hope you can see me good. I wanted to show you two other garden chores and I'm going to go inside. You probably can't see it in the video, but it's definitely about to storm again, which is good. I'm here for the rain, but I've got a just plain jar, a couple drops of Dawn dish soap and some water, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through and just tap these beetles and they'll fall right into this soapy water. So that way they'll, I think something went in my nose, maybe a bug. That way they'll just quit eating all of my plants. That would be great. That would be great if they would just quit eating my plants. So floating in here, I've got 4 or 5 beetles just from doing that. That's just what I happen to see right now. Just kind of do a quick scan here. I'm not seeing any others at the moment. This seems to be pretty effective. At one point I had bought a beetle bag last year and I think it invited more beetles to my garden and honestly created a bigger problem than I had to begin with. So this year I've just kind of daily, every other day, been trying to do the soapy water method and it seems to be working pretty well. The other thing that I wanted to do today was come out here and harvest these dry cilantro seeds, because if I don't take them off the plants soon, they're going to be dropping themselves. I got this cute little jar off Amazon, got a bunch just to put dried herbs in, but I'm just going to come through here and kind of pinch off these seeds in handfuls, and some of them are going to drop as I do this, and drop them into this jar, and then that way I have them. I can either re-gift these seeds, reuse these seeds myself, so they'll be good to have. I'm also only trying to grab the ones that are brown and dry looking. Some of them are just kind of like a tan color, and I'm trying not to hit those just yet because those aren't really dried out all the way. I want the ones that just easily crumble off. If I get a couple of the others in the process, that's okay. There's whatever flew into my nose. Oh me. So just getting all these seeds off that I can to save them for later. Saves me a couple bucks from having to buy cilantro seeds, or a couple bucks from having to buy a new cilantro plant altogether. So as you can see, I've got quite a few little seeds down in there. Most of them are pretty dried out. A couple of them maybe could have stayed on a little bit longer. I will leave the lid off though so they continue to dry. And this will be the last part of our little garden tour. I'm not going to walk to the top of the yard. Not much has changed up there. The green stalk green beans are doing okay. Hindsight, I wish I would have just done all green beans to start with, or done the entire green stalk, because these on the bottom are producing and starting to peter out. The ones in the top aren't quite there yet. I do need to definitely do something with all of this lettuce. I'm going to harvest some of these green beans, but it's been hard to get enough to do anything with since I've got them in kind of 2 different stages. So that's something that I will definitely do better next year. So I wound up getting a handful of green beans off of the green stalk. I did wind up picking an eggplant from the other part of the garden. I didn't show that. That's the only plant that I have and the only one that was producing on it right now. It did have some other flowers. And I got some rosemary while I was out there. So this is today's garden harvest. So thanks again for coming along with me for my first week in July garden tour. We got lots of vegetables today. Did a lot of work in the garden. Hopefully what I did kind of helped you to see some things that you can do in July to your garden to keep it producing all summer for you. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Have a blessed week. Thank you for coming. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon.